Should've never left home. Looking at the pictures, all our memories gone. Turn your IG page private. Forgetting Sarah Marshall got me stuck on this island. Put in my passport to good use. Having dinner by myself, eating the couscous. Even at my worst, never thought that I would lose you. It's a feeling I can never get used to. But here I am, facing a new day. Surfboard got me trying to catch a new wave. Someday fall in love with a new face. Have to learn to settle down in a new place. Cause even with a restart button, it doesn't work if you still keep running. Even at the times that I'm haunted by my past, still living each day like it's the last. Even as the days go by, tears running down her eyes. I don't have the words to say to get through all these rainy days, no.
Welcome to Eagle Vision for Friday, August 30th, 2024. I'm Zion, and today's top story highlights the football game tonight. The football team is headed across state lines to play Southwind. We wanted to sit down with Jason to chat about the season.
What all do y'all do this summer?
This summer we did a lot of practicing, off-season work in the weight room. We did a lot of speed workouts. We did a lot of getting bigger. We ran a lot of plays. Got better in the off-season.
What's some things specifically that y'all have improved on?
We improved better on being more disciplined, working as a team, and being more encouraging than letting one play let us down.
Y'all have an away game this week. Where are you headed to?
We're going over to Southwind, going that turf. We're finna take over.
Southwind is a tough team. We need a lot of support.
I would love for everybody to come out and watch us put on the show against Southwind. So I need everybody to be out against Southwind.
Mr. Lewis also got in with Coach Hector to chat about the big weekend of football.
All right, Coach, it is a huge weekend of football. Obviously, we've got the game tonight, and it is at Southwind. Tell us about Southwind.
They're very, very good. So they return a lot of the guys that were on that team last year, Mr. Football in the state of Tennessee at quarterback. So a huge, huge challenge for us. Traveling up there, playing in another state can be different too. Different officials that look at us a little bit different from down here. So we've got a big task ahead, but I think we've had a great week of practice, and we're learning and growing every day, and that's kind of where we are with our program. But I'm excited for the opportunity and to kick it off and have a real game, and kind of go see what we're about.
Right, and you have scheduled some tough teams up front because you want us to get really good and better ahead of district play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're one of the best teams in the state, and we're going to be the best. We are the best program in the state. So if you're going to be the best, you got to play the best, and you don't get there by playing teams that you can easily beat and not challenge yourself. So, we like to schedule difficult, and that gets us prepared for down the road.
I love it. That game is going to be at Southwind, students. So Southwind is Hacks Cross and Shelby.
Correct.
And what time will the game start?
7 o'clock kickoff.
7 o'clock. So we want y'all to all head out to Southwind tonight. It's going to be a fantastic Friday night lights. We're looking forward to it. Also, big weekend in football because college football is really kicking off with a bang. We did have a few college games last week. It was, I think they call it week 0. We have some marquee games coming up this weekend. Clemson and Georgia will be huge. USC, who's USC playing on Sunday? Let me look. Hang on. USC and LSU. That will be a huge game as well. Several big games, which it's great to see because you don't really want to see all of the small time games where it's going to be blowouts. You want to see some games right off the bat.
Right, and same strategy that we use, right? Hey, let's go out, let's play big teams that we're going to be playoff contenders and things like that, and see what we're made of right out the gate. I love it.
I love it as well. Now, we've got there's always rule changes that come into play with college football and I guess high school football as well. Are there any major rule changes in high school ball this year?
Nothing major this year. We had a few over the last couple of years that, intentional grounding was one of the big ones that I've always kind of pitched a fit about and wanted changed. We got that a few years ago, but nothing real major this year in high school football. However, college football, we have quite a few major changes.
Now, before we get to the college football, some of your players were wearing a different style of helmet last week, and Miss Pat Berg, right off the bat, was talking, what are these new helmets? So can you explain the helmets that people saw on the sidelines?
First of all, that was the best impression I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah,
in my
I got
entire
it.
life. That was incredible.
No doubt.
Felt like I was there. I got a little nervous as well. So those are called Guardian caps, and what they are, they're really worn for practice. They're worn over. Again, last Friday was a scrimmage basically, so not an actual game. But we wear those, and it's just there to kind of help the constant blows
Sure.
that you take in a practice in a game, especially those offensive, defensive linemen, linebackers, that type of guys. So we wore them last week simply because, again, it was a scrimmage. Wasn't worth taking them off and just kind of keep rolling. Now, however, the NFL, I don't want to get too far off of this, the NFL has allowed teams to wear those or players to wear those in games. So you will see some guys in the NFL wearing those helmets or those cushions on top of the helmets in an actual game.
And we just talked about it, but typically NFL starts trends and then it trickles down to college ball and then eventually, quite honestly, high school ball. Obviously, concussions have been a big story in the college game or in the football game for years now. And so more and more technologies for the helmets. I look to see that more of those changes and technological advances certainly happen. Now, rule changes for college ball. Talk about it, because there's a couple of big ones, and the communication is one of the biggest.
Right. So, one of the big issues last year was the Michigan sign stealing deal, a great news show on Netflix that I have not been able to finish watching yet, but I'm excited about. This is something that's gone on forever, right? Sign stealing is nothing new, but the level that it got to has obviously kind of turned some heads a little bit. So just like the NFL, now there's in-helmet communication from the sideline to a player on the field, one player. So one player on offense, one player on defense will have that communication in their helmet. And instead of signaling everything in and people stealing signs, he just talks right into his ear and he can call the play and they're off and running.
That'll be real tough for teams to overcome as far as defense.
Absolutely. Like I said, and again, sign stealing is something that, we look for it. I'm not going to,
sure.
We don't sit there and chart it out like Michigan was doing, but however, we do look for certain things that we know that they're going to do. So it definitely makes a huge, huge difference to be able to talk directly to a quarterback and not have any type of misinterpretation through a signal or something is huge.
And they're going to have to, I would imagine, practice a lot with that because
sure,
it's going to break some concentration on the field if the coach is constantly in your ear. And as coaches do, they get really excited and probably won't shut up until the snap actually happens.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
All right, what are some other rules happening?
So we also have a deal, and now, look, I'm going to mess up. I forgot what the other one we were going to talk about. The 2-minute warning. Right, so we talked about NFL to college, so that was one thing that's a little different. So at the 2-minute mark or very close to it, there is a stoppage at the end of the first half and the end of the game. So huge difference there in college, and it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but to be able to kind of have it's almost like an extra timeout, and for teams to kind of be able to plan and prepare the very end of that game is huge. And I think that, I don't know. I think there's different ways to look at that. I can see where that might help the bigger, better team, and kind of, if you're an underdog and you've got it close, you kind of want that clock to run but anyway, I think it helps to, kind of prepare the very last few minutes of the game. And again, almost like an extra timeout.
Absolutely. And also gives Dr. Pepper a chance to run a few ads.
1,000%.
All right, last.
Yeah, that's not what it's really
right,
about.
Right, absolutely. And then lastly, there were several different rule changes, but the three big ones were these three.
Right, and one thing, and I don't know if this is necessarily a rule change, but I think it's interesting, and we'll kind of see what happens. So, one thing we see a lot of defenses do, especially late in the game, or if a team's moving the ball fast, they fake an injury. This has been a hot topic over the last couple of years, and
to slow the game down too.
Oh, it's ridiculous. They're standing there just fine. Like, what's the coach trying to tell me? Oh, go down, and he falls. It's absolutely insane. But again, they stop it, gives them time to kind of catch their breath, slows the momentum of the offense down. So there is no in-game penalty as of right now for this. However, there are potential for post-game penalties. So if they go back and review the film and see that somebody's telling him to go down and there's no injury, there could be consequences on the back end
Interesting. What could that look like?
I don't know if that's fines. As far as exactly what the penalties are, I'm not sure. I would assume maybe some type of fine, or I don't know. I doubt they'll do some type of loss of scholarship or anything. But my guess would be some type of fine to the program. But again, I think we're going to see something fairly soon that tries to really cut down on the faking of the injuries.
Right. Even the commentators will be there, like shaking their head. Oh, this is just terrible. Like even the commentators are over it at this point. All right. Wonderful college football this weekend. NFL is going to be kicking off starting next week, and we will talk more about that as well. We've got several players, former Horn Lake players who are NFL players, and some exciting news with that, because obviously it's amazing to have NFL stars who are from your high school. Absolutely.
I mean, I think it says a lot about our program, our school, our community, that you can accomplish just about anything right out of here. So many people think you got to go do it other places, and we've proven time and time again that it can happen here. And excited for those guys. They represent Horn Lake in this community everywhere that they go. They were back here this summer giving back to a camp. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to see. It's pretty neat.
I love it. We'll talk to you about that next week. See ya.
Seniors, this Friday is the last day to email or turn in your baby picture for the yearbook. Got one right here. If you turn one in to me, turn it into G1 during lunchtime, and we will scan them and give them back as soon as we're done with them. Also, if you email them, we're going to print that list of baby pictures and hang it up, and I'll put it out on band that you need to come by and make sure that your baby picture was received and that we've got your name spelled right. So be watching for the baby pictures to post on the wall outside the office. And if you want to be included in the yearbook on the baby picture section, make sure you turn one in by Friday.
This week's feature vocabulary words are exhibit, fuse, and gauge. Exhibit. Show an attribute, property, knowledge, or skill. To show, make visible, or apparent. Fuse. Mix together different elements. To join. Gauge. Measure precisely and against a standard. Determine the capacity, volume, or contents of by measurement and calculation.
Test will take place on September 13th. Students interested in taking the ASVAB should sign up in the counselor's complex. The deadline to join Drummer Club will be this Friday, August 30th. Those interested in joining should have their permission package turned in by then. That's it for today's episode. Here at Horn Lake, we are better students, always growing and expecting more. Stay tuned for your lunch menus and athletic schedule. We'll see you here Tuesday. Have a fantastic day.
Yeah, probably should have never left home. Looking at the pictures, all our memories gone. Turn your IG page private. Forgetting Sarah Marshall got me stuck on this island. Putting my passport to good use. Having dinner by myself, eating the couscous. Even at my worst, never thought that I would lose you. It's a feeling I can never get used to. But here I am, facing a new day. Surfboard got me trying to catch a new wave. Someday fall in love with a new face. Have to learn to settle down in a new place. Cause even with a restart button, it doesn't work if you still keep running. Even at the times that I'm haunted by my past, still living each day like it's the last. Even as the days go by, tears running down her eyes. I don't have the words to say to get through all these rainy days, no. Even as the days go by, tears running down her eyes. I don't have the words to say to get through all these rainy days. What does it profit a man to conquer the world and lose your soul? Say that it ain't so. If you can learn to let go, do better on the next round. As I create a new life in the next town. Second chances only useful for the chosen few. Don't wanna blow it cause there is so much more to lose. And only play the game and fumble the bag. Together lost pieces, the puzzle we had was a jigsaw. Take the lens off. Smoke in the air, smelling like a menthol. but I decide to kick the habit. Looking in the mirror, know I gotta be a savage. Do better for a future. Peace in my heart, I'm not used to. Even at the time that I'm haunted by my past. Still living each day like it's the last. Yeah.